What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video of Heavy Steel and Hot Rods. I'm on RPNZ, I'm wearing gearhead, and today we're back out here in Kingsville, Texas. We're actually just getting here to the Tractor Supply. I gotta get more problems, some more welding rods. Let's go ahead and do it. Well, we're back out here at the elementary school, Ricardo's, the sped building. Ends up being that one of these columns was a little bit out of plumb, and it was fucking with the framers, so I went ahead and moved it for him. You can see, I got my SkyTrack holding the column down. Put a little bit of a wedge in there so it won't run back. Mosky got that base plate rewelded, that base plate rewelded, and right now he's just putting a little piece of, I don't know what that is, all thread or something, not all thread, I forgot, unistrut. I'm gonna hold it, weld it to there and then to back to the rebar that's tied into this arch, just so we can refrain from this thing moving. I'm just fixing, as soon as he's done, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this SkyTrack and see if it moves. Now here in a second, whenever we cut this loose, I'm fixing to go over there to the boneyard on the other side where the new entry's at. I'm gonna pick up all the perimeter angle because we're gonna get fixing to start on this wall right here. Perimeter angle on the end wall, the two side walls, and we'll start throwing some decking today hopefully as well too. What do you say, Mike?
It's pretty good to me.
Pretty good? It's okay. Well, right now we'll tell. Hopefully it doesn't move. I have a feeling it still might move though. A lot of weight. All right, let's go ahead and try this out now. Turn this on. We got her leaning pretty bad right now. It's trying to make sure that we keep some pressure on there, as you can see. Try it out. It moved a little bit, right? How much? Hey, let me see the level. The level. Sí, movió un poquito. But hopefully it'll be enough for his tolerance, you know what I mean? That it's not gonna hurt him. Right on the line. But I don't know what the fuck we can else do, you know what I mean? All right, let's go get this stuff from the boneyard real quick. Start doing some perimeter angle. Hopefully start hanging some decking as well on this bed building. Gonna be all of those angles. All right, we are currently moving the perimeter angle over here to the sped building. Most likely gonna get everything relocated over here. Then we'll go take a quick lunch, get a bite to eat, get some energy, and come back here, start installing this, and then if we have time, start doing decking. If not, decking will be for tomorrow, for Friday. Is that all of them? Is that all of them? All right, let's go back to the sped building. All right, everybody, go ahead and drop these off at the sped building real quick. And let's get something to eat. I'm pretty hungry already. All right, everybody, went and had a lunch, got our breath and all that good stuff, and now we're here with all of this perimeter angle. This perimeter angle is a little bit different. We call it like an edge angle on this building. It has some studs, threaded studs welded into it. Those are gonna be going vertically up. gonna be a little bit different, a little bit cumbersome to put them up there, but the first one's gonna be M2016. The guys got it ready. There's gonna be M2018 and M2017. Go ahead and get started. We're gonna have Mo welding it out, and we're also gonna have Michael gonna get ready to weld out over there on top as well. We're gonna be putting in these bend plates. They go pretty much center of the I-beam. We're gonna have to make sure this I-beam is gonna be nice and straight. If not, then we're gonna have to be pulling it out and get my laser out to the bottom. That way it's exactly with the brick ledge. You wanna make sure it's with the brick ledge. That way when it comes back and they go ahead and put all their brick, and look real nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this is the piece right here. This is exactly how it's gonna go orientated, just like that. So basically I'm gonna try and get this fork underneath the toe right there. That way you can still have the little platform. And go ahead and drag it up on top, get it nice and center, and start doing the tack welds on there. Now, I've got a couple people asking me, how do I get work? How do I land commercial contracts doing steel erection, certified welding, and all that type of stuff? Now, I'm gonna be real honest, I'm gonna keep it real short and simple, guys. I went about 3.5 years doing residential work, doing any work I could get my hands on. I was doing shingle roofs, remodeling houses, and everything in between. And I was always pushing and running campaigns as for structural steel work. So it wasn't overnight, you know, I didn't know anybody. And actually it was real hard for me to land projects because I didn't know any. I didn't really have any projects under my belt. So it took a minute, but I would say get cards, get flyers, you know, start a website, Facebook page, all that stuff. Run a marketing campaign as much as you can to let people know what you do and your services. And then once you start landing jobs, you know, just try your hardest to fucking really make them work. Basically what I did for a very long time was I just kept on pushing the campaign. I made flyers, I made shirts for me and my crews. I had magnets for my trucks. I was on Operatorof, I was on Let Go, I was on Facebook. I was doing everything I could just for my company to be noticed. And then I started getting little small jobs doing awnings and things like that, and I just kept on pushing it, pushing it. But the one thing I did is I made this company to have a name like it was always going to be a big enterprise. I didn't want to do anything small, mom and pop. I wanted to make it look like an enterprise, make it sound like one. So that's what I did. I named it South Structural Steel. That's the name of my company. So I always had a vision and a goal in mind for my company. So that was one thing. I always knew that commercial work is what I wanted to do. So I was always pushing, you know, having my own cards, having my own stickers, having my own shirts, having my own flyers, all that type of stuff. And then when I was finally given a chance to do some commercial work, I just took as many pictures as possible, posted them up on websites, put them on Google, verified, all that type of things just to keep pushing myself. And then once they actually gave me a chance to do some fabricating, I started fabbing, and it's always showing out. I always try to give the least amount in the bid, you know, because I wanted them to choose me, and then I wanted to show out. And little by little, incrementally, I would raise my prices up, you know, to where I needed to be. But short and sweet, make yourself valuable to them. Years later, about 3.5 years later, I was given the blessing and the chance to actually go do a building, 22,000 square feet, and we did it in 15 days. And I worked damn near 16, 17-hour days while we were out there, but purposefully, because I knew that I had to show out to that contractor, not only to the general contractor, but to the sub that was actually bringing me on to go ahead and do the work. I want to make sure that he was comfortable with me, and I want to make sure that he knew that I could do this, and that I was a professional, and that I was going to be the chosen guy to keep on doing more work for him. Because it was like a one-off kind of circumstance. Somebody didn't show up and he needs someone to go do a building for him. But I knew if I could do that one building for him, that he would never want to let me go. Ends up being I was pretty right, you know. After I met Chuck, Mr. George, I've never stopped working for him. And now we work together. Now we're business partners, and he handles all of the fabricating and we handle all of the erecting. So it's like a match made in heaven, man. It's something that I like. And then I've also done a lot of work to where the general contractors now for the stuff that we're building, they like me, they like how I work, so they start sending me my own bids and my own quotes outside of the work that we do together. So it's like a win-win situation for me, because I made sure that we had a goal set. You know, I looked 10 years down the road rather than just a couple paychecks down the road. And you know, our motto here is dominate with integrity. You know what I mean? We'll try to be as transparent as possible. We record these videos. It's like a self-audit every day. We're able to look at ourselves and make sure we're doing stuff correctly, and the things that we're not doing correctly, we hold accountability and transparently look at ourselves and fix those things. So that's how really I came to be doing my work. I can tell you, you know, I did different things, you know, as for Operatorof, Facebook, you know what I mean? And none of those things work as much as just going out there and looking for the work yourself. Now, sometimes that's easier said than done, obviously, you don't have all the time in the world when you're trying to start a business. I'll just be going and driving around and buying people breakfast and shit. But those things will actually go a very, very long way. If you go and network like that, people will actually see and they see you're serious, you know. And for me, one main thing for me is I always held my company a different stature than myself. It's not just me and a couple guys working, you know, we're an entity. And we just happen to represent that entity that is our company. So for all you guys that want to know how I land work, that's pretty much how I did it. I stayed consistent for a very, very long time. I was doing any work that I could get. And eventually, when the time hit, you know what I mean? And I was prepared, I was ready for it. So all that long in the while, any money I was making, I was reinvesting to myself into tools, you know what I mean? Into more shirts, into a better truck, into vehicles, things that I can reinvest into myself, into my company to make sure that it's gonna take us a long way. So that's a short, sweet answer, guys. Hopefully that helps you out. I guess I'll go more in depth later. I think I'll do a live about this, you know, and tell you guys exactly how I started, exactly what I did and all that types of things. But at the end of the day, you know, if you're gonna be doing ironworking, you're gonna have to know to read the prints. You're gonna have to do layout. You're gonna have to know how to rig. You're gonna need to know how to do basically every facet of the job because you're gonna be running the job. So if you can't do it, you gotta hire somebody who can do it. So you're not gonna always be the smartest guy in the room either. And I would hate to be. You always wanna learn every day. Take every day as a learning experience, the good and the bad, you know. I've lost fucking a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars. Just last year I had to walk away from almost $50,000 that was owed to me already. I had already done the work and they owed it to me and it just didn't seem like that contractor was gonna do me right. So sometimes to make money, you gotta be able to say no and walk away from money. So it's just a part of the game, you know what I mean? Like I always say, stay blessed, you know what I mean? Stay grateful and don't look back unless you count yesterday's money because as long as we're breathing, we got a chance to do this damn thing. There's Mosky up there right now. We got the second piece of that bend plate or Z plate, whatever you want to call it. We got the laser right there, hitting right at the edge. Brick ledge is gonna be the edge of steel right there. Looking damn good. What it is, guys, we're gonna keep on wrapping this building. We're gonna do one more piece this way, then we're gonna wrap that other side, go that way. Don't think there'll be enough time to do decking today, but at least we'll be able to get most of this bend plate up. Now when we come back and do the decking, well, I know one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna offset it. So basically I'll take my measurement, my layout, and I'll measure the length of one piece of decking and I'll start at the second one. That way we have enough room to do all of our welding right here later on. I'll do that all the way down. This two sides over here and this side over here will eventually have to be welded first, but this end wall and that other end wall can definitely be overlapped. That way we can do all the welding later. Well, all right, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Pretty much this is change orders again, and then we start doing some perimeter angle. Tomorrow we come out here, I'm gonna get a real in-depth video of us putting up that perimeter angle. I'll go ahead and pass up this camera to Mosky with the tripod and all that good stuff. That way when he's up there, he can actually give you guys like a real good in-depth view of what he's doing and how we put it on. And then most likely once we get a good amount of perimeter angle all welded up and all installed, then we'll start doing some decking. But you already know the drill. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think about the steel erection, about certified welding, you know, fabrication, is heavy steel and hot rods. I'm on RPMs, the Ironworks Gearhead. Y'all stay blessed up, stay grateful, stay safe. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Don't look back, let's count yesterday's money, fool. Peace, man.